And now both him and James Dean, as the remaining contenders, will go back during halftime and think about what needs to happen for them going into the top 16. And the scenarios will be very specific. James Dean right now could get knocked out in the top 16. Oswald could win the championship. If Dean goes into the grade 8, Oswald could still win the championship. And the reason why that is because they both have 2 wins. And if Oswald wins and James Dean gets knocked out in the grade 8, they would have the exact same number of points.
Really?
But because Oswald finished the event higher than Dean, he would win the championship per Formula D rules.
Wow.
So there are 2 scenarios there, and it could play out in the top 16 or the grade 8, and we'll fill you in as we move along.
Well, I definitely like that scenario as compared to last year. Basically, James Dean locked up in 32 with a bye run. So it was, I don't say anticlimactic, but he rightfully so deserved it, and that just shows that dominance last year. He's being challenged this year. Right now, the challenge is Justin Pawlak versus Jonathan Castro. Pawlak in that Roush Performance Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. Look at Castro right there on the door. Jadon Metal Don Toyota Racing, Toyota 86 on Nexon tires. Loses a bit of ground there, and look, shallows it up. Justin Pawlak attempting to get to the outside zone. Looks like he does scrape his back bumper as Jonathan Castro regains that proximity right there to the side of that Ford Mustang. And Jonathan Castro, we saw this, I mean, getting chills again just thinking about it at Orlando. That was the battle of the ages. I mean, one of my favorite runs of all time has Castro and our defending champion James Dean.
As it was one of mine. Here's Castro starting to surge up towards Justin Pawlak. Now Castro, I think he makes a little bit of a mistake keeping too much angle in the car in that section. He falls off, then he has to play catch up, and he's on this inside line. Meanwhile, Pawlak is a little bit deeper here, but now Castro sees, he makes an adjustment, he keeps the proximity on, so a good back and forth battle between these guys. A couple little mistakes by Castro, but overall, the proximity and the duration of proximity at various stages of the course was excellent. But JTP has been so good in his lead runs this year, and a great qualifier, that he is really going to be tough to take out. You have to be able to match his lead run. And we see there from Jonathan Castro what he did on the chase. JTP is going to have to do the same or better.
Yeah, well executed by both drivers. I think Justin Pawlak just has that flair that we see from the likes of Denofa or Field. They have that just kind of that impact when they turn it on. So yeah, that X factor. As Jonathan Castro, he's just getting smoother and smoother behind the wheel of that Toyota 86. It's great to just see him progress throughout the years of his Formula Drift competition. We'd love to see him get on the box. As Jonathan Castro initiates into the bank. Oh, look at that, a lot higher as Castro tapping the wall, stays in it. Justin Pawlak lower, but now finds his way to the side of the 86. And now into that second outer zone. Pawlak initiating very aggressively. That's what I was talking about. But look at Castro. Castro is absolutely delivering out front, about the second hash mark on that front clip. Ryan, well executed by Castro. Looks like his eyes are on the prize.
Well, remember, lead to lead, chase to chase, who did better overall? Castro gets a great jump here, initiates. He's really high on the bank, tapping the wall, keeps angle in there. Pawlak was a little bit lower, had to make some adjustments. You can see him using the brake there, trying to make sure he doesn't crash in or make contact with Castro. Ooh. Castro gets into that outside zone early and locks in on the wall, wheel right up against there, but Pawlak is tight right here. Very good proximity towards the end, and we finish up a good back and forth battle here in the top 32.
2 great looking cars here, just iconic flagship street cars, you know, the Ford Mustang and then the Toyota 86. You can see that front lip there, both of Ken Gucci, or sorry, all 3 of Ken Gucci, Ryan Turk, and Jonathan Castro, all running the TRD 86 Special Edition front lip spoiler, Ryan.
Well, here's the side-to-side, judges wanting to take a look at it here, and as well as the fans getting an opportunity to see Castro gets nice and tight to Pawlak up on the bank. Pawlak had a nice high line, but so did Castro in his lead. Pawlak was a bit lower on the big bank. Pawlak big angle there, making that adjustment to try to follow Castro into the bank. There's some separation with Pawlak going deep into that zone and Castro trying to play catch up here. So as we said, Jared, a lot for the judges to digest, a good back and forth battle overall. And great entertainment for us up here in the booth.
Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. That's what they are assessing. So as Justin Pawlak led, they'd look at that, assess that. So do we have a winner? We go one more time. Andy says one more time. Slide him left for Castro, right for Pawlak. And there it is. It's one more time. It is unanimous. And the audience here